During the trial of a new drug, test subjects unexpectedly got rid of all their illnesses. However, their joy was short-lived. Shortly afterward, they simply died. Upon investigation, it was revealed that the pharmaceutical company had recruited homeless people and students for the experiments, luring them in with promises of money. One of these students, after taking the experimental drug, turned into a zombie. In the middle of the night, lying in a plastic bag he had been wrapped in after being presumed dead, he suddenly raised his hand. He began struggling to get out. Soon he emerged from his burial site and set out in search of living flesh. That same night, we see a car slowly ascending into the mountains under a torrential downpour. Suddenly, the car drives over spikes scattered along the road. With the tires puncture, the driver loses control, and the vehicle crashes into a bridge. After some time, a tow truck arrives at the scene. Its driver, smiling warmly, tells the distressed couple how lucky they are that he happened to be nearby. When the accident occurred, however, he demands an exorbitant fee for his services. This man, Jungle, tows damaged cars to his workshop. His customers had to pay large sums for repairs, and if they refused, he would threaten to return the car to its original, wrecked state. Yoon lives with his younger sister Hae and their elderly father Minduk. Also living with them is Yoon's pregnant wife Namju. Their family once owned a successful business, a gas station and a small shop. However, those days are long gone, and now they scrape by with odd jobs. The abandoned gas station has become their home. Meanwhile, the zombie student, who had finally made his way onto the streets, encountered his first humans. However, he failed to make them his prey. The women he encountered were too quick for him to catch. Then he came across a group of teenagers who started throwing rocks at him, laughing and mocking him. Frustrated, he turned his attention to a dog. But the dog was strong and unafraid to fight back. It chased the zombie down and cornered him in an abandoned restroom. Yoon's father spent his evening playing cards with friends. Their peaceful gathering was interrupted by a neighbor who came to boast about his upcoming wedding and showed off pictures of his bride-to-be. However, their conversation was cut short by loud barking from the dog. One of the men went to investigate and saw a strange man near the restroom. Thinking the man was some kind of pervert, he started lecturing him and then struck him on the head with a plunger. Before long, the zombie attacked and bit the head of the family. Hearing the screams, the monster fled down the road. Meanwhile, Yoon's sister was returning home after burying her rabbit in the forest. On her way back, she encountered the same walking corpse. Surprisingly, they immediately seemed to like each other. However, their moment of peace was interrupted by the dog, which began chasing them. They had to run for their lives. Soon after, the zombie, while crossing a road, was hit by Yoon's car. His body was flung several meters, but to the horror of the onlookers, he stood up as if nothing had happened. Yoon and his sister watched in terror as this seemingly immortal being got back on its feet. Min arrived to show off how well he was living in Seoul. However, the reality was quite different. He had already been fired and was now unemployed. Later, when the family gathered at home, an ambulance brought Minduk. His wound was treated, and the doctors assured them he was fine, though they gave him a rabies shot just in case. However, Minduk swore to take revenge on whoever had bitten him. He retreated to a camper van park near the gas station and dreamed of a trip to Hawaii, but he lacked the money and health to turn his dream into reality. That night, Yoon's sister heard strange noises coming from the shed where they kept the rabbits. She went to investigate, turned on the light, and to her horror, saw the same zombie gnawing on cabbage that eerily resembled a human brain. Minduk and Yoon arrived at the commotion. Recognizing his attacker, Minduk attempted to take revenge. Yoon used his strength to deliver a powerful blow to the zombie. Yet to their horror, they realized they were dealing with a true undead. Even after being impaled, the zombie continued to move. The family realized that Minduk might also turn into a zombie because of the bite. Wasting no time, they knocked him out with a frying pan and locked him in the RV to prevent further attacks. That same night, Min researched everything related to zombies online and created a detailed guide to surviving the zombie apocalypse, which he later titled The Survival Manual. The next day, Min shared everything he had learned with his relatives. To prove his point, he showed them a video on zombie-related topics. He suggested getting rid of their father to prevent him from infecting others. Outraged by his suggestion, one of the brothers started an argument. Meanwhile, their father, contrary to expectations, not only didn't die from the bite but began to look and feel much better. Despite his advanced age, it was as if he had grown younger. The zombie student, meanwhile, had been tied up in the barn. The younger sister started visiting the strange boy. She even gave him a name and fed him cabbage. Later, Namju visited him and asked to be left alone with him. It turned out her visit wasn't for nothing. She decided to remove all the zombie's teeth to ensure he couldn't bite anyone else. At the time, no one knew that Minduk's rejuvenation was actually due to the zombie bite. Minduk, in the meantime, was showing off his renewed state to his retired friends. The impressed elderly were willing to pay any amount of money for the secret to rejuvenation. Mindak himself dreamed of a trip to Hawaii, and his life finally seemed to be getting better. However, Min, overhearing his father's conversation, decided to use the rejuvenating effect of the zombie bite for his own purposes. He secretly stole the zombie from the barn and tried to take him to Seoul. On the way, the police stopped him after noticing a person in a toolbox. Min was arrested, and to retrieve the zombie from police custody, Mindak lied, claiming the zombie was his youngest son. In the end, both the zombie and Min were released, and Mindak continued planning his Hawaiian vacation. Upon entering the barn, noticed the zombie no longer had teeth. This meant the retirees couldn't rejuvenate. When the elderly arrived with money, Mindak found a solution. He borrowed a set of dentures from one of his friends and fitted them into the zombie's mouth. The rejuvenation process began. One old man stuck his hand through the barn window for the zombie to bite. However, for some reason, the zombie refused to bite. The daughter-in-law came up with a solution. She smeared ketchup on the hand to entice the zombie. One of the retirees received a particularly strong bite, and they couldn't pull his hand out. Terrified, the men scattered. However, one brave old man decided to try again and stuck his hand through the window. All the money earned from the procedures was hidden in a safe by Nanju. The next day, Mindak stole the entire sum, leaving behind a note explaining that he had gone to Hawaii. He decided to enjoy life, having regained his youth. Meanwhile, Ha took the zombie to a cabbage field to cheer him up. As he loved cabbage, she tried teaching him to say her name, but the zombie couldn't speak. At the same time, the retirees bitten by the zombie really began to grow younger. News of this spread throughout the town, and soon, locals flocked to the old gas station, hoping to rejuvenate. The family realized this was a real gold mine and industrialized the therapy process. After earning enough money, they reopened the gas station and improved the zombie's living conditions. Later, they moved the zombie to an RV that had previously belonged to Mindak and gifted him a new set of dentures. Now he ate with the family at the same table, and they even took him to a beauty salon, where he got a stylish haircut and makeup. However, one particularly diligent police officer checked the zombie's fingerprints in the database. He found no records of him, as if this person were already dead. This aroused suspicion, and he decided to visit the family personally to learn who exactly was living with them. Meanwhile, everyone bitten by the zombies started feeling worse. Gradually, they too began turning into walking corpses and attacking the living. The zombie virus epidemic began. Realizing her brother Min had sinister plans, Ha gave the zombie a supply of cabbage and ketchup and then drove him away. She didn't want Min to take the living corpse to Seoul for experiments. However, sometime later Min accidentally encountered the zombie again, this time at a bus terminal. They couldn't leave for Seoul. More zombies appeared, forcing Min to hide. The zombie student, meanwhile, returned to Ha. Hearing her scream, he realized she was in danger. Back at the gas station, more zombies continued to arrive. Among them was the police officer who had come to arrest the family, but ended up bitten himself. The situation worsened as zombies began overrunning the area. The family was forced to hide inside a building. They reviewed the manual written by Min and equipped themselves to ensure no zombie could bite them. Min, fleeing from the undead, hijacks a truck loaded with fireworks and heads off to rescue his family. While he is on his way, Namju goes into labor. However, there's no time for the delivery. Zombies break inside, forcing the family to hide in the barn. At that moment, Min arrives and tries to fend off the undead using fireworks. But the plan backfires. All the barrels of fireworks ignite at once, though the spectacle distracts the zombies, making them temporarily forget about the humans. The lights in the sky attract even more zombies from the city. Their numbers grow, and they surround the gas station. That's not the only problem. Nanju starts giving birth. Min decides to attach the RV to Jun's tow truck to get the expectant mother to safety. To get through the crowd of zombies, the family uses the old clothes of the zombie student to mask their scent and remain undetected. The brothers manage to reach the vehicle, but the keys are still inside Jun's room. At that moment, the car is surrounded by a horde of zombies, and Ha is forced to step in to save her brothers. She confronts the zombies with a weapon, but there are too many of them. At that moment, the zombie student appears and prevents his fellow undead from killing his beloved. Meanwhile, on the roof, one of the zombies gets tangled in wires and accidentally turns on the music. Lights flash on, and the undead start dancing. This allows Ha to escape. Jun tries to reach the gas station building, but the music suddenly stops. In the silence, the sound of a newborn crying can be heard. The zombies head toward the barn. Jun tries to stop them, but Min forces him to retrieve the keys so the family can escape. Jun gets the keys but is grabbed by the undead. Min has to act alone. Ha hides in the RV while the zombie student defends the entrance from the undead. Jun throws the keys to his brother before being bitten, or so his family believes. Min attaches the trailer to the tow truck and starts the engine. Ha begs him to take her zombie companion with them, but he chooses to stay behind to save her and shuts the door. As Min turns the tow truck around, he knocks over a fuel column, spilling gasoline everywhere. At that moment, June, who has survived the attack, returns to him. Together they manage to get Ha, Nanju, and the newborn to safety. As they drive away, Ha cries, seeing her beloved zombie left behind among the walking dead. Watching them leave, the zombie student calls out his name. The other undead notice this and realize he has become human again. They attack him, but the zombie student manages to ignite the spilled gasoline, causing an explosion that wipes out his pursuers. A pile of bodies shields him from the blast, and he survives. At dawn, the truck suddenly stops when the women discover that June has turned into a walking corpse. The family is in shock. At the same time, Mindek, returning from his vacation, emerges from a tunnel. Due to the zombie apocalypse, he had to walk home. It turns out that Mindok's blood contains something that kills the zombie virus. Min hears on the radio that such people can save humanity and comes up with a plan. They begin lining up zombies and have Mindek bite them on the hand. After being bitten, the zombies turn back into humans. Mindek bites thousands of hands to cure the population. The first person he cures is his son June, who also returns to normal life. The zombie student also becomes human again and reunites with the family. That's all for today. Don't forget to like and comment if you want more videos like this. Thank you for watching.